Well, I teach 3 theater classes and 2 film-oriented classes. The theater classes are designed so that they can either go in a particular sequence from sort of beginning to middle to most advanced, or students can take them in any order. So I try to be very flexible with the classes. I try to design them so that they can be taken under almost any circumstances. It's a challenge. But actually there's been some success with that. The first class is called Theater Arts, and it's a class that's designed so that if you are just curious, if you're a newcomer, if you're a beginner, if you're very young, you can take this, you can start here. I call it the broad class. It has the most information about theater. We ask some of the big questions about theater, like what makes theater theater, which is actually a really cool conversation. That's kind of how we begin the class. We watch videos of productions, we watch live productions, we do some reading. We learn a little bit about theater history, we learn about some of the important concepts in theater, about theater design, about different theater spaces. But we also begin the acting training. And the acting training in my program is all based on the theater games of a woman named Viola Spolin, who developed the entire idea of theater games in America back in the 1930s and 40s. And a lot of modern improv is based on her pioneering work with creating theater games. But they also make really great acting training. In the first part of the semester, we're learning about the background of theater, the history of theater, and we're learning the basics of theater games. And then we begin some very simple scene study work. Like right now, we just began working on a unit I call Audition Prep, where we work with these very simple one-page scripts, and I'm teaching students how to do what's known as a cold read, where you learn to make eye contact and have this very interesting short conversation that could be about anything. The students have to decide what the context is, because the conversation doesn't say exactly what's going on. So the students have to supply a subtext to it. They have to decide what the relationship is between the two people talking and what's driving them to say what they're saying at that moment. The next course is called Acting Seminar, and that's designed for students who are more serious about acting, who really want to get into acting. We overlap with the theater games work that's in theater arts, but there's much more intensive work really on acting. We don't do as much watching videos and stuff. We really go after acting and scene work. Usually, theater arts ends with a more extended project. Often I'll direct the class in a play or several short plays, but I'll be putting more of my time and energy really into training and mentoring and coaching the students in acting. Whereas in a class like theater arts, I'm actually teaching them to form production teams and choose their own plays. And I put a lot of my energy into helping them organize an event like the One Act Festival. And the Acting and Directing Workshop is the most advanced class, clearly. Although, again, it's designed so students can come into it from almost any area of background. It's a class, I say, that's good to take twice. The first time you take it, it's good to take as an actor working with directors. And the second time you take it, it's good to take it from the point of view of a director working with actors. And the course is about how we collaborate. How does a director interact with actors? How do you cast? And what is constructive feedback? What is feedback? How do we give feedback? But it also teaches a lot of really practical stagecraft. What makes a good stage picture, which is something that both actors and directors need to understand. What makes a good composition, a visual composition on stage. The film studies class it's a little bit like the theater arts class for film. It's the broader class. We mostly watch films. I try to show students films unlike any they've ever seen before. They're going to see unusual films. They're going to see work by original directors, people like Robert Altman and Francis Ford Coppola. And we're going to take those films apart. We're going to watch the film, and then we're going to take sequences from the film and re-watch it, and we're going to break down what the director does. In multimedia production, the entire course is a series of short films. Every lesson is a new 3 to 5 minute film. And in each project, the students have to add a new kind of camera movement, a new step in editing, and they have to learn more about handling the camera, more about lighting, more about sound. And the idea is they start very, very simply with the simplest ways of handling a camera, but by the end of the semester they're using very sophisticated equipment. About halfway through the semester, the students come over to NCTV and are introduced by the NCTV staff to very sophisticated cameras. The cameras you are in fact using to film me now, the world famous DSLRs, digital single lens reflex cameras. But I want them to get excited about making their own story better, finding better and better ways to shoot, better and better ways to make edits. And so for me, a lot of it's about getting them excited in their own idea, encouraging them to run with their ideas and make their own projects. And I find that most students, once they believe their idea is good, get so excited about making it good that at that point, all I have to do is help.